it is your boy Dillon, and you are joining me right now here today for my preview of the Dolphins at Packers game. So we play in Green Bay tomorrow. The game is at 1 o'clock West Coast time, and then 4:20 or so 1:30, about 1:30 West Coast time, about 4:30 East Coast time. So we don't have a 10 o'clock or a 1 o'clock game this week. And actually, as it also turns out, the Colts game after our bye week also got flexed to, the 4:25/125 slot. So anyway, having said that, we'll go ahead and give you the injury report, and then I'll get into all these, league standings and stats from the previous games, and then I'll give you the breakdown. So, as we know, our offensive line is already, pretty shaken up. Ted Larsen, is doubtful. Ted Larsen is doubtful. So most likely he's not going to play. So they're going to have to put somebody in at that left guard spot. They got, who they got as backups? They got Jake Brendel can do it. They got, they did promote Isaac Asiata. So actually that'll be interesting to see. And that's his spot. That's his position. That's his natural position, left guard. So, and he was regarded as a really good run blocker coming out of college, but he really needed to work on his pass blocking. So, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see if he gets any playing time. He's a big dude. He's stout and everything, and so I would like to see him start contributing to this team. This could be the week because Larsen's probably gonna not play. It looks like, though, that Laramie Tunsil and Jawan James, they are listed as questionable, but they should play. Kiko Alonso was listed as questionable, but by all accounts, he's going to play. Same thing with Jakeem Grant. AJ Derby, I don't know if he'll play yet. I don't know if he's ready, but he's listed as questionable. He has been practicing and stuff, so he's been progressing. So hopefully he'll be ready to go. Let's see. And besides that, for us, everybody's pretty much healthy. I mean, we're banged up, we're beat up. The Packers are too, though. Everybody is at this point of the year. So, they just got to get out there and play with who they got and make it happen. Let's see. Oh, and for Charles Harris, though, is ruled out. He has been practicing. So he is progressing, but they did rule him out for this game. They probably want to give him until after the bye because he's got a calf injury and he's a speed rusher. So definitely want to give him more time than less time. But hopefully after the bye, he'll be ready to go to come back to, jump back into that rotation. And Tannehill obviously is going to be out for this game. He's going to be out at least through the bye and to the Colts game. That is the projected return as per him, as per Ryan Tannehill, and as per Adam Gase and the organization. Up to this point, they are shooting for, his return to be in that Colts game. I would hope so, personally, but we obviously have to wait and see what happens. There was a report out. I suppose I should talk about it because it has been talked about, a bit over the course of the past few days. There was a report out done. I can't remember who the report was by, but there was a doctor in the report. I believe he was an ex-doctor for the Chargers. I think he used to work with the Chargers. His name's David Chow. He said that after he listened to Ryan Tannehill's interview the other day, based off of the answers that he gave, so, take it with a grain of salt because it's not like he evaluated Tannehill, and, Tannehill's had multiple doctors look at it and talk to him. He's got the whole training staff working with him, and he knows his own body. So, perhaps they do In this particular case, no more, but who knows? You know, this doctor apparently has been doing this kind of thing for a long time. Maybe he's, you know, his opinion is valid, but, you know, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to turn out this way. Anyway, point is this doctor was saying that based off of Tannehill's answers, he thinks that it's far more likely that Tannehill will miss the rest of the regular season. Okay, well, first off, hopefully that's not true, because regardless of what anybody thinks, Tannehill makes this team better, at least in comparison to Brock Osweiler or David Fales. Okay, so there's that. Now, you know, I have said, you know, I definitely think that next year, sometime in the 2019 draft, we should draft a quarterback. Yes, absolutely. I don't necessarily think we should take him in the first round, but, you know, maybe a second or third round quarterback. Definitely a young guy to come in and, you know, develop and to bring up behind Tannehill. Somebody, you know, high enough, I'd say, that they could play if they needed to. You know, don't get like a fourth or a fifth round. I mean, if you get two quarterbacks in the draft, fine, sure. Why not, right? You can get a late round one and get one in, you know, the earlier round, second or third, right? You know? But as far as, you know, this year, would we sign somebody? Would we trade for somebody? I mean, that's getting into a whole lot of stuff, you know, and if Ryan Tannehill is out for the rest of the year, look, I mean, so, you know, part of the reason why I didn't talk about this was because there's a lot that goes into this. There's too many, as far as I'm concerned, there are just far too many unknowns to really say much about it. We just have to wait and see how things play out, you know. We have to wait and see what the reports are next week when Ryan Tannehill starts trying to throw again and, you know, they resume practices for that upcoming Colts game, right? So, you know, we have to wait and see how he feels that week, if he's, you know, starting to be able to make the throws, if he is actually going to be expected to play in the Colts game, right? If he makes it back for the Colts game and he plays all right, he doesn't seem to be having any problems with the shoulder, then yeah, if they keep him out again, well, I mean, even then, honestly, I would say we literally just have to take it week by week. You know, the question can be discussed more and more, because I would say that the longer he is out, the more, I guess, doubt you could say clouds this, you know, situation on whether or not they would keep him past this year, you know, or whatever. But I mean, I don't know. It's like I said, there's a lot that goes into it. Anyway, we will definitely talk about that more. I just figured I'd bring it up since people are talking about it quite a bit, and since, you know, we're talking about the injury report and who's out and why and so on and so forth. Anyway, so getting on with it though, for the Packers, cornerback Kevin King has been ruled out. Their defense is pretty beat up. The Packers, they got really beat up in their game against the Patriots, but you know, they're a bit knocked up on the offense as well. You know, Aaron Rodgers has been, you know, he hasn't been quite himself the entire year because he got, you know, kind of banged up with a knee injury and so on and so forth. Their tackle Brian Bulaga is questionable with a knee injury. Wide receiver Randall Cobb is questionable with a hamstring, and linebacker Blake Martinez is questionable with an ankle. So those are all pretty big, you know, names for the Packers. Kevin King being out is, you know, hopefully he's all right and so on and so forth and heals quickly, but it does help us. You know, it makes our matchup against their defense a little bit easier. If Blake Martinez couldn't play, that would as well. And then obviously if Brian Bulaga or Randall Cobb couldn't play, that would be huge to help our defense. But either way, you know, those guys, if they play, they're probably not going to be playing full speed, so maybe we can take advantage somewhere. But, you know, who knows, because we're pretty beat up too. So we'll have to see how that plays out. Anyway, let me go ahead and get into these stats now so then I can give you my breakdown of the game. I'll talk a little bit about it as we go through this, but I'll give that to you mostly at the end. So obviously, we play the Green Bay Packers in Green Bay. We're currently 5-4. As you guys know, they are 3-4-1 as it stands right now. Let's see. So points per game, these are offensive league standings. Points per game, we're at 20.8, which is 24th. They are at 24, which is 15th. Yards per game, we are at 315.8, which is 28th. They are 406.5, which is 6th. Passing yards per game, we're at 212.7, which is 26th. They are at 300.9, which is 6th. Rushing yards per game, we have 103.1, which is 22nd. They are at 105.6, which is 20th. Defensive statistics, points allowed, we are at 25, 18th in the league. They are at 25.5, which is 20th. Yards allowed, 394 for us. That's 26th in the league, and they have 352.4 per game, which is 15th. Passing yards allowed, 257.9 for us, which is 21st, and 232.8, which is 10th for them. Rushing yards allowed, we're at 136.1, which is 28th, and they're at 119.6, which is 22nd. So from our previous games, last game, obviously we know our offense just was putrid the whole way. Aaron Rodgers, of course, is Aaron Rodgers, and he makes things happen. We only had 168 total yards. They had 367. We had 104 passing yards. They had 250. We had 64 rushing yards. They had 117. We were at 3.1 yards per play. They had 5.3. We didn't lose a fumble. They did. Neither of us threw interceptions. We were only 18% though on third downs. They were 46%. We had the ball for 28 minutes 20 seconds. They had the ball for 32 minutes 34 seconds. We had 5 penalties. They had 7. So yeah, I mean, obviously our offense really needs to pick it up this week if we're going to have any chance, and our defense has to play at least as well as they did last week. Okay, so let's see. Passing statistics, Brock Osweiler was 15 of 24, 62.5 completion percentage for 139 yards, and a 78.3 passer rating. He had no touchdowns, no interceptions. On the season, he's 63.8%. Completion percentage for 1,034 yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and a 91.1 rating. Aaron Rodgers last game was 24 for 43, a 55.8 completion percentage, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 89.2 passer rating. And on the season, he's completing 60.6% of his passes for 2,542 yards, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 98.9 passer rating. That is something that has to change in this game. We definitely got to get, and I'll get a little bit more into this, but we definitely got to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and we got to get him to make mistakes and hopefully throw some interceptions. Rushing leaders, Frank Gore led the way for us, 20 rushes, 53 yards, 2.7 average. Kenyon Drake had 3 rushes, 9 yards for 3 average. For them, Aaron Jones had 14 rushes, 75 yards, and a 5.4 average. Jamal Williams, 7 rushes for 34 yards, 4.9 average. Receiving leaders, Danny Amendola led the way, 5 of 7 for 47 yards. Kenyon Drake, 4 of 6 for 26 yards. Kenny Stills, 1 for 1, 19 yards. Kalen Ballage, 2 of 2 for 17. Jakeem Grant, 1 of 2 for 16. Devontae Parker, 1 of 2 for 8. Frank Gore, 1 of 1 for 6. For them, Marquez Valdez-Scantling was 3 of 6 for 101. Jimmy Graham was 4 of 6 for 55 and a touchdown. Devontae Adams was 6 of 9 for 40 and a touchdown. Randall Cobb was 5 of 6, 24 yards. Jamal Williams, 2 of 2 for 20 yards. And Aaron Jones was 2 of 4 for 10 yards. And defensive statistics, last game we had 4 sacks, 7 tackles for loss, 0 forced fumbles, 0 fumble recoveries, but 4 interceptions and 8 passes defense. And they had 2 sacks, 2 tackles for loss, no forced fumbles or fumble recoveries, no interceptions, and 3 passes defense. So, now that we've gotten through all of that, let's get to, what needs to happen in this game. So, first and foremost, offensively, hopefully Tunsil and James are going to be in there. We'll see who they... I actually kind of do want to see Isaac Asiata in there, honestly. But either way, this offensive line has to play great. They need to open up run lanes for Gore and Drake. We need to be able to run the ball. We have to have a good rushing day. We have to have at least 100 yards on the ground between the two of them, which should be doable, because they're letting up, I think, 119 yards per game. They are pretty beat up on the defense. And we have two backs that are really good. They've been using Kalen Ballage more too, especially in some Wildcat packages. So between the three of them, we got to get at least, let's say, 120 yards between the three of them on the ground. And then, of course, Brock, if he scrambles, which is unlikely. But then they need to make sure that they protect Brock so that way he can, work off of that run game, and he can get some short passes, some intermediate passes, and occasionally a shot down the field. And then we need to be far better on third downs. First of all, we need to have success on first and second down, and either not have third downs at all and just keep getting first downs, or when we do get third downs, we need to have them be 3rd and 5 and less, and we need to convert them. Point blank, bottom line, period. So we need to be better at getting first downs and converting third downs, and we need to get down there and we need to score, man. This is not going to be a game in which we are going to be able to rely solely on our defense. We absolutely have to get down and score. And if we kick a field goal or two throughout the entirety of the game, okay, as long as we've also, managed to put up, a couple touchdowns as well, right? Because we're going to need more than just field goals in this game if we're going to win it. More than likely, right? Odds are. Defensively, they need to play like they did last week. The defensive line needs to get, some pressure on on Aaron Rodgers. They need to break through and get through that offensive line. They are a little beat up. Brian Balaga's a little beat up, and they need to get to Rodgers. They need to cause him. He's really good, getting out of the pocket and moving around. He's not super mobile like you would think of, like with Cam Newton or Tyrod Taylor, or Marcus Mariota's pretty mobile. Tannehill's mobile, right? Or Russell Wilson, right? He's not mobile like that, but he's great at breaking the pocket, extending plays. He's great at broken plays. So we need to contain. We need to stop the run. We need to get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and then our back seven, they need to cover. They're going to have to expect that in this game, they're going to have to cover a little bit longer than you would normally think. They are a little beat up on that side too. Randall Cobb's got a hamstring, so he might be, a little limited. He might not be as quick as he would normally be, so that might help us. But our defensive backs, they need to be on point. Xavier Howard will probably shadow Devontae Adams, but you got Bobby McCain, and you got TJ McDonald and Rashad Jones and Minka Fitzpatrick, all great players, and our linebackers have been doing really well. They've been getting better and better and better, for sure. So they got to cover Jimmy Graham, they got to cover Randall Cobb, and Marquez Valdez-Scantling, he's been coming on for them. So they do have their weapons for sure. And Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are pretty solid backs. So, there's going to be a lot, So our defense needs to hold, firm. Alright, so having said all that, I'll just go ahead and get into my overall summation and how I think it's going to play out. I'm going to predict the Dolphins victory. Of course, I have to. I can't otherwise. But if I'm being completely honest and realistic with you guys, I do feel as if, it's more likely. Obviously, all the odds makers and so on and so forth think that we're going to lose. But I do think, realistically speaking, this is a game we probably will lose. We're in Lambeau. It's going to be cold. It might even be snowing. we got to play Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers, man. So it's going to be a tough game. And I think one of two things is likely to happen, right? So I think that if we lose, odds are we're probably going to lose by double digits and they're going to fucking just smash all over us. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but, you know, I mean, it is possible that our defense does play really well and they keep us in this game. They keep, you know, Aaron Rodgers and that offense from doing too much, and maybe, you know, they don't beat us by double digits. But I think if they win, it's more likely that they're going to beat us by double digits, at least 10 points. But if we win, if we are able to win, you know, like, I'm 95% sure, at least 95% sure, if not like 99.9% sure, that for us to win, we're gonna have to, our defense is gonna have to keep us in the game. We're gonna have to keep it relatively low scoring, and we're gonna have to, it's gonna have to be, you know, within one score victory. So 7 points or less, 8 points or less, I guess. You know, for us to win, it'd have to be something like, you know, 21-17 or 24-21 or, you know, whatever, right? Something like that, you know, 12-9 if it's just a gang of field goals or some shit, right? You know, I don't know. But so, my point is, you know, I think that it's, if we win this game, it's probably going to be relatively low scoring to moderate scoring. And, you know, we'll beat them by a point differential of, you know, one score or less, 8 points or less. So probably even less than that, you know, like 3 or 1 or something. So anyway, we'll see, guys. You know, tomorrow is the game, and you know, we gotta root for them. I think that the Dolphins, like I said, I'm calling a victory. I think it's probably gonna be something like 24-21. You know, maybe not even that. You know, like I said, maybe it'll be like 17-14 or something. But I do think the Dolphins are gonna rally. I think they're gonna come away, man, with a win. I think they're gonna shock the world, and we're gonna move to 6-4. We're going to go into this bye week. We are going to get healthy. You know, the coaches are going to figure out things if they need to bring anybody in, you know, who's healthy, who's available, you know, if they need to make any moves or anything like that. And hopefully Ryan Tannehill does come back for that Colts game, man, because I feel like if you know, Brock Osweiler and this offense can move the ball and, you know, put up some points, and if the defense can be tough like they have been most of the season, particularly last game, then we stand a chance to win. If we can come out 6-4, go into this bye, you know, and get Tannehill back for that stretch, there's a lot of really, really winnable games in there, and we have a much better chance with Tannehill to do that. You know, we got the Bills twice. We got, you know, the lowly Colts and Jaguars are doing terrible this year, right? They're both 3-5, I think, as of right now. The Vikings are a decent team, but it's a winnable game. Frankly, the rest of our games are winnable, maybe minus this Green Bay one, right? So, you know, I think either way, even if we do lose this game, I think we'll still be in good position, and we'll be better off if we can get Tannehill back as soon as possible, for sure. So that's it, guys. That's my piece. I hope you guys like it. You know, let's stay strong. Let's, you know, make sure we back this team. Let's, you know, send our good vibes, you know, their way. Let's be positive. Let's send our good vibes their way and do as much as we can, man. This is our squad. We gotta back them, so let's do it. Anyway, I hope you guys like my video. I hope you guys like this assessment. It's gonna be a tough game, but at least hopefully it should be a good game to watch. With that, guys, if you do like my video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the bell if you want the alerts, hit the like button, leave your questions, comments, and concerns down in the comments section. Share my videos with your friends, your family, anyone, anywhere. Get it out there. Let's get us up to 100 subscribers and keep going. The more we grow, the more eventually I will be able to do for you. So let's get there. Let's keep doing this. I love making these videos for you. It's a lot of fun. And And things are gonna get, you know, better for sure. And the season is not over, guys. So let's stay focused and let's stay with this team. Also, too, make sure you add me on Twitter. It's at Dillon Tartaro, and my Twitter handle is on the end screen. So I'm out, guys. I will see y'all soon. Fins up. Stay positive. Stay strong, and let's go get this W.